So I'll let you start. You start. Go ahead.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is a special edition, special episode of Between Two Teachers, and we're pleased to have as our guest Trustee or Area 2, Otheree Christian. Welcome, Otheree. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So one of the reasons we wanted to have you, and we thought it was important, is to talk about what's happening at Kennedy High School, and specifically around one of your campaign promises about a trade school there. And I was wondering if you could tell us why this is an issue for you. Why did you feel this was important at this point?
Well, this kind of just give you a little history. I am a graduate of Kennedy High School. And so Kennedy is my passion. And at the same time, to see our young people needs being met. And so if we build around helping our kids go to the next level, then we will accomplish all areas. I'll call it the pathway to success when we look at trades, or when we look in all different areas. It's different pathways you can go down, but we want to make sure that all of our young people will have a good quality of teaching, education, and so forth in order for them to go to the next level.
Good. You know, what I hear you saying is that, excuse me, you know, we hear a lot, we do a lot around the pathway to college. But
Yes.
What about other areas? And that's what I'm hearing you say, that there's other options
Yes.
for our students.
Because when go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What I was going to just say is that trades, you know, offer many areas, from electrician to plumbing to laying the cement or putting the frame together. You need men and women, young men and young ladies, to be able to go in those areas, because in those areas, that's what keeps our infrastructure things moving in our communities.
Exactly. And you know what I've heard when I was talking about the trades, someone said, well, you don't think our kids could go to college? You know, and it's not an either or kind of thing, because they could also then become a general contractor, or they could be the owner of the contractor business. And each of those takes a level of a degree, college degree. And so
absolutely. And you could go into engineering, you can go into architecture, you could become the architect, you could become, I was looking at the initiative that's put out by the trades, who I know the folks are partnering with Kennedy to build the curriculum.
Yes.
And one of the things they have on the list of possible jobs, just exits that you can take, or directions you can take from a construction pathway. You could be a construction lawyer. You could be they all need a construction background and to be able to run their cases. You could be an expert who testifies in construction cases. You could be, there are so many other possibilities. You could be an inspector who works for the city. My goodness, the tragic condo episode in Florida tells us how many construction experts are needed. So it's got an incredible range of possibilities for students who come in, right?
That's right.
In CTE, we talk about exit ramps. You can pick an exit ramp, and you can go back on and get retrained and get more training and do another exit ramp, right? But you can get off early and start sooner, or you can go on and get lots of additional postgraduate education having to do with construction.
Yes,
Awesome.
I agree.
So it's very much a springboard to so many other things, really opens up a lot of other things. So tell me, Trustee Christian, how far is it at this point? What's been done for this to happen?
Right now, the groundwork is being laid. We're pulling all the connections together, and hopefully things as we continue to push forward, we will be able to make that big announcement. But everything is moving, and because if this right here, this vehicle would help our school, Kennedy, to actually go to the next level in so many ways.
But it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff going on. You're waiting for the big announcements. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. There are all these puzzle pieces, right? There's the curriculum piece, and then there's the funding piece. That's what everybody wants to know, right? And then,
Yes.
and then the opportunity for bringing in new staff, and how you're going to introduce it to the students, to get students to come in and become part of the program, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And
yeah, how is the funding going anyway? The funding.
Yes, the funding will come through the one-time funding that was given by the government or by the state, or that would come in and
COVID
to
funding.
help our schools.
Oh. Okay.
That's excellent. And what's happening is, I just want folks who are hearing us to understand, this is not something we have to create. There are programs that we can partner with, right? The construction trades already have programs in place, and in Oakland and San Leandro, and actually in Contra Costa County, and I think also up in Sonoma County or Solano County, right? And what we're going to do is replicate their program and bring it to Kennedy.
Yes, and it's already together, ready to go. And we're not to reinvent the wheel, but taking something that's already been working in other places for it to take life here in this area.
Exactly. And it's been successful in the other places, right? And it's supported by the folks from the trades themselves. As a matter of fact, they are the presidents of all the trade unions are the folks that are on the board of directors of this nonprofit that we'll be partnering with.
Yes,
right.
That's correct.
Yeah. You know, it's very exciting. I'm really happy to see that this is moving forward. But, you know, as Trustee Cronenberg and I both know, sometimes people at the district level can drag their feet a little bit, or it just moves so slowly. And what I'm wondering is, how can the community best help you push this through? Do you think that they could play a part in you know, voicing their interest in this? And how do you think they can do that? Yeah.
Yes, the way the community plays a part by emailing, sending in and say, hey, we want this to happen for our young people in our community, and for District 2. We want to see our young people, actually, we want to see all of our young people benefit from this. So, but if everybody would chime in, send their comments and say, hey, we want to see these programs in place, because we believe these programs will help our kids find their pathway, find a niche in order for them to go to the next level.
And who should they contact, Trustee Christian? Who would you ask them to contact?
I would say contact myself, not only myself, but the superintendent, not only the superintendent, but the rest of the board, and say, hey, to the rest of the trustees, hey, we want this to happen, because we know this will benefit our young people.
And if people have questions, I mean, there may be lots of questions that come to mind if somebody is watching this right now and wants to understand better what's going to happen, or even things like the timeline, because sometimes people in political positions aren't able to keep the promises they make. And this is something that everybody remembers, the promises you're not able to keep. I'll tell you that. And we don't want this to be one of those promises, right?
Yes, we want this to be reality, because reality brings about results, and results brings about the things that's going to produce good quality young men and young ladies in these pathways of trades that can help them to go to the next level.
So we want maybe to have a timeline that the public can hold people to, right? And even if there's a hiccup in the timeline, you can announce it, but at least people know when to expect things to happen. And that sometimes if you announce something and you never share out what the next step is, nobody can tell whether or not you're having a problem with the next step, right?
Yes.
So we could expect maybe that there would be a public timeline about this program, just like you're going to do a timeline for the complete rebuild of Kennedy, right?
Yes. And a timeline means a lot, because it helps you engage the process of making sure everything is going to be done in a good, timely manner. So with the timeline, and then with the with the resources we have, we'll want to make sure that we're putting forth the best, or actually you would say the best foot forward in whatever you do, and keeping your commitments, and keep marching forward to progress.
Right. And I think that's really what community members want to hear, right? They don't want to be given excuses later on of how something, went wrong.
Yes, because if you believe in a cause, and knowing that this cause is a worthy cause, you shouldn't back that. You should be pushing forward, because it's going to benefit many lives and help many young people find their niche.
Absolutely. Well, we've heard that there's not going to be any more committees, and those committees were often a place where the public could voice their opinions. So I'm just wondering, what are you as a trustee going to do to stay connected with the community? What do you plan? How do you plan to communicate with the community?
The one way is to communicate with the community is to get on air, connect through Zoom, Facebook, different venues. That way you can ask questions, and also you can solicit, you can share ideas, things that you feel that needs to happen, and those are the things I'm going to help push to make happen. So in order to stay engaged, we're going to do the platform of connecting through Zoom and Facebook and so forth. Maybe do some podcasting.
And town halls are really popular too.
Yes.
They do the coffee with the trustee kind of thing, or there's all kinds of ways that you can do that.
Yes.
Right. And that's those are opportunities that really weren't as available to us really before the pandemic, right? We were not thinking about that. But also we can go out and you could, or anyone could have meet with a trustee in person, which is another thing that people are going to be able to do soon, right? Or can do now with the
and we can be out in the open, because the weather is nice. You might be on the cool side, have a coat on, but we can meet in the open, and we can have a dialogue conversation.
So anybody who's interested could contact you to do that, right? You're a very open person, and are you going to be announcing some of the Facebook forums coming up in the future soon?
Yes, I will have some dates. I will have the date and time. So stay tuned.
Great.
And that's a great way for community members to keep getting updates first of all, about Kennedy, about the rebuild, about the Trades Academy at Kennedy, and then about everything else that's happening. Kennedy is one piece of the big puzzle of the district, right?
Yes. Because we want to make sure that, you know, all of our high schools, everything, even Richmond High School, making sure that Richmond High School and all the high schools are and they're compatible and the life of the schools and where all of our students can love and appreciate and feel good about their schools.
That's great. Otheree, you know, I just have to tell you, I really admire and respect you. You were the only one during the campaign who used the word love. You really come from that place. And when you speak, it shows and it comes through your sincerity, your authenticity. And I appreciate that very much. And
I do too.
that.
There you said it again, right? And that's because it's so much a part of who you are and why the community selected you to be on the board and to be in this position. So I know everyone is rooting for you and to make sure that everything moves forward the way we want it to.
Yes, because when you care and when you help students, not only students, but teachers, staff, all those who plays an intimate role or are part of the life of a school, we want to make sure that that the excitement is going to be at these school sites, and you love going to work. Students love coming to school, and so if you care goes a long ways because care builds the nucleus. It brings everybody together versus separating.
So true. Well, you know, we want to help you as much as we possibly can. We're big supporters of you, and anything you need, let us know.
We can come back and do this as often as you like. We really appreciate your sharing your thoughts with us, and we will do everything we can to get them out to anyone we can who need, and folks who need to hear what you've got to say.
Yeah, and I'm open. You can always reach me. You can always connect with me, because I'm here. I'm here to serve and so forth, and to be the best that I can be through the help of everybody that's assisting.
So we will tell everybody this is just the first of many times we hope that we're going to be able to talk to you, to get all of us together and share out things that are important to West Contra Costa, and really things that are important in education. I mean, this is one piece of education in the bigger world. There are lots of other, you know, big issues in education right now. The whole critical race theory issue, that's a huge issue.
Yes.
Right. And, you know, we can talk about that and lots of other really timely issues.
Yes.
But I think for right now, we've laid out the future for Kennedy that we're all looking forward to, and the brand new building. Maybe there'll be a building for the Trades Academy. I mean, that's another possibility.
Yes.
Right?
It's possibilities. And so the planning process, and the last one I got, that the planning process will start in September.
Okay, there's the timeline.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So now
It'll
we can
start in
start
September.
looking.
And if the community would voice their support of this, that also helps a great deal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. Okay, then. Well, thank you very much. We'll see you next time. We'll see everybody else next time.
All right.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, Otheree.
All right. Take care.